Connor's Degrassi Unpopular Opinions. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to yet another Degrassi Unpopular Opinion. And today we're talking about the whole opinion / hot take that Sean and Emma should have been endgame. There's a point for yes, they should be endgame, and a point for no, they shouldn't be endgame. Basically, I'm going to give you both sides of the debate and all that. Because I know some people think that Sean and Emma should be endgame, and some that say they should never have been endgame. So basically, I'm going to give you the reasons why Sean and Emma are endgame first. Should have been. Now, Emma had an attraction for Sean and basically had 3 separate relationships with the guy. Basically, Emma had some rocky relationships between times with Sean. Now, in season 1, she was with Sean for a few episodes, but then Sean wrecked it by basically having a fight with Jimmy, and then Emma got caught in the crosshairs. Emma basically got hit and then broke off with Sean. And then Emma had no relationships until Sean showed a liking to her at Spike and Snake's wedding in season 2. So basically, Emma goes with Sean, and basically they're a happy couple. And then Sean decides to go with Jay and his candy bandits in lieu of the fact that Emma's not fun anymore. And Emma explains that I have a new sibling to deal with, and Snake has cancer, has leukemia. I have to hold down some responsibility in the house. And basically, Sean said, yeah, right, all that. I'm going to be with my new friends. And Emma goes, you're pathetic. And then, that breaks off. And then Emma has a relationship with Chris. And then basically, that ended with pettiness and all that. And Emma didn't have a relationship again. Although some people probably thought that she wanted to be with Sean whole shooting. After all, Sean stood up for Emma, even though that Sean and Emma had their problems in season 3. Sean stood his ground and saved Emma's life. And Emma probably wanted to be with Sean because, he saved her life. That shows his loyalty towards her. And besides, what other person would have stood in the way of a shooter trying to protect Emma? Maybe Emma and all that. I talked about that too. In a sense, I said that basically, were people willing to protect Emma? Would people have protected Emma or basically not cared if she died? I don't know. So anyway, yeah, so then Sean goes back to Wasaga Beach to deal with his PTSD. Emma ends up with Peter. And then Sean comes back in the picture in season 6. And Emma finds attractive to Sean. But at the same time, she helps Peter out with things, even though that Peter was scum and all that. And by the time there was a masquerade ball happening, Emma realized that Peter was not who he seemed to be. And basically, Peter was just trying to be evil for the relationship. And Emma breaks it off with him. Emma then has a relationship, then goes back to Sean for the 3rd time. But Sean leaves for the military. Emma didn't want to hold him back. But Emma basically, I think, was just upset that Sean never had a correspondence. And then, of course, Emma went with Damien and Kelly. And then married Spinner. So anyway, there's some good points to why they should have been endgame. Because the writers were pushing it. That Sean and Emma were endgame. And of course, we were all shocked when Sean came back in season 6. Like, oh my gosh, we're going to get the Sean and Emma finale we always wanted. With those two. I mean, yeah, Sean and Emma find themselves great. I feel like Sean basically had his character downgrade from a thug to a misunderstood kid because of Emma. Emma was willing to help Sean out. Emma wanted to be with a bad boy. And I think Emma wanted to help refine Sean. And in a sense she did. And in a sense she didn't. I think she wanted to help Sean out because, Sean had difficulties dealing with his family and all that. And Emma was willing to help him and all that. So, regardless of what you think, I think Sean and Emma should have been endgame. Because, the writers were pushing for it. And some people thought that when Emma and Spinner were having their renewal of vows, that Sean was going to come in out of the blue and basically tell Emma not to be with Spinner and all that. And no, it didn't happen. Jane tried to stop that wedding because Jane cheated on Spinner, but she still had feelings for Spinner. But TLTL, too little, too late. And Sean seemed to be a decent character when he was with Emma. He seemed to be more bearable and all that. But then again, you got the detractors saying that this should not have been endgame because of Sean's abusive streak towards Emma and all that, and how Emma can be annoying as fuck. Well, yes, true. That Sean's actions were basically the reason why they broke off all 3 times. Sean hurting Emma accidentally in that brawl in season 1, obviously. Sean basically leaving Emma's squeaky clean stuff for the Candy Bennett's and trying to impress friends and basically have friends who understand his hobbies like cars and all that. That was his fault. And basically for him to steal Snake's laptop to get back at Emma for stuff was just pure stupid. I know that Sean admitted to Snake everything in the end of season 3, and basically also admitted to everyone that he even told Emma it was like a beach that he was sorry for the end for all his stuff the previous year, and Emma says ancient history. That might have been something that Emma was willing to forgive Sean for everything. And then of course you got yourself season 6, like his actions broke it off. I mean, Sean didn't have much options to deal with. He could have been a mechanic. He could have just done a lot of stuff like with cars and all that and stayed in Toronto and all that and basically be with Emma. But basically, he decided to go to the military and all that. Emma wanted to frame Sean for pregnancy, but Emma couldn't do it. And she got a period anyhow, so. Yeah, a lot of people say Sean and Emma should not have been endgame because, Sean hurt Emma all 3 times, and Emma basically never grew from it. She always had that thing with Sean and all that. But yeah, it's like, it wasn't going to work out. Why, if it was going to work out, why did Emma and Sean always have to break off in a sense? Yeah, it was kind of creepy in a sense. So yeah, that's basically it. But I think Sean and Emma should have been endgame. I mean, like, the writers pushed it, and basically, Emma's other relationships sucked. I mean, with Chris, she was petty. I don't know who broke off with who, but Emma wanted to destroy Chris and Liberty. So you can kind of guess that Emma probably broke it off and then regretted her decision. And then, of course, with her and Peter, it was toxic in a sense, because why would she be with Peter, even though Peter framed her friend with stuff? And basically, she wanted to help Manny out, but then she turned heel and all that. Peter also convinced her that Manny was evil. So regardless of what Emma thinks, what we think, Peter did try to turn around with helping Emma with her eating disorder, but basically by him framing Sean because he was jealous, that broke it off. And then Damien, it's like Damien and Emma, like, why would Emma date Damien? But then basically, Damien cheated on her with Liberty, basically, but Emma didn't get mad at Liberty. She knew that Damien was scum, not Liberty. And then her with Kelly, it's like, she wanted a relationship she could control and all that. A lot of people probably hated that because, the girl controlling the relationship. But, as like 10 years ago, that's what people were thinking at the time. You got to remember that opinions in like the 2000s are a whole lot different than 2020. So basically, yeah, you got to take that with a bit of a bias in a sense. So anyway, yeah. So should they have been endgame? Of course they should have. I mean, like Spinner, that was totally random. If Emma had a lot of encounters with Spinner, fair enough, but she only had like 1 or 2. I was like, what? So anyway, thanks for watching this video and have yourself a